My name is Natalya Romaniw and I will be playing the title role of Garsington Opera's Rusalka at the Edinburgh International Festival. I hope for the audience to be able to feel and take away the wonderful, luscious music of Dvorak, the beautiful production by Tom Piper, directed by Jack Finesse. It's a really magical and mysterious piece that we're bringing to a very beautiful place in the heart of Scotland. What I would say about my connection to Risaka is that she is so brave, she's very naive, vulnerable, and I think those are qualities that, we become so hardened to as we grow older, and we're so sort of aware of pitfalls, and she's not. She's a very loyal, noble person, and I think she's so naive. She doesn't mean to hurt anyone throughout her journey in the opera. I think she's very hurt and upset when she's rejected by her father, for example, and by her sisters, who are really quite nasty to her at one point and say they want nothing to do with her because of her choices to become mortal. I would think, even though the relationships aren't explored in too much depth between her family, her sisters and her father, she does listen to them, especially her father, and I think she feels a great sense of shame when she sort of let herself down, and in turn her family as well. The main relationship that is explored within the opera is that of hers and the prince. And the great shame about it is that she can only really speak to him in the very last act. And so what we'll find is how we portray such a strong chemistry with her not being able to speak. So it would have to be largely physical. And that's an interesting aspect, I think, as well. So the prince, she's never been able to speak to him or anything, but yet there is this absolute intense capacity of huge attraction towards him. And then there's the Yezhibaba, the witch, who I think Risaka employs a lot of trust in, whether you could call it naivete, which I think is probably the case. But she takes a massive leap of faith. She puts her life in the hands of the Yezhibaba, and all as a sacrifice to love. So she has very intense feelings, very, very vulnerable. In the moments before I go on stage for a performance, it can vary. It depends on whether I know anyone's in the audience, because sometimes that can really affect you. I do get nervous. I have some performance anxiety that I think every artist has, because it just accrues from life experience. Things going wrong, things going super well. It can be a real sort of up and down life. And so it really just, it sort of depends on how well prepared I've been, how confident I feel in the role, which I always try to make sure that I am. Of course we need to take risks, at some point in our careers, but I try to make sure that I can be as comfortable and above all as happy as possible, because when you're happy, I think singing is better when you're happy. For me, the Edinburgh International Festival is a huge privilege to be a part of, particularly as I'm a Brit. I grew up seeing all my heroes and come to sing and perform at the International Festival. And it seems so unlikely as well that in such a small town, of Edinburgh in Scotland, of all places, which is so beautiful, that so many international artists would come there to gather. And they do, and it's wonderful, and it's such a hub. You meet other people, you're really immersed in art there, and it's a fabulous opportunity for any performer.